Money is an important part of our lives, but it's hard for us to get it right. We're prone to believing ideas like, more money will make us happy, or God wants me to be poor, or work is just about paying the bills, or I give so that God will reward me. These are just some of the myths we believe about money. But let's talk about the first. More money will make us happy. When business magnate Howard Hughes was asked, how much money does it take to make a person happy? He said, just a little more. How true is that? When it comes to money, it seems enough is never enough. Let's talk about this money myth. Does more money really make us happy? Well, let's start with the research. Studies clearly show that money doesn't automatically equate to happiness. In fact, once we've got our basic needs covered, things like food, shelter, relationships, the impact money has on our happiness becomes less and less effective. What's more, being super rich doesn't make us super happy. When Marcus Pearson, the creator of Minecraft, sold his gaming company to Microsoft for £2.5 billion in 2014, it didn't give him a huge happiness boost. In fact, he tweeted at the time, I'm hanging out in Ibiza with a bunch of friends and partying with famous people. I'm able to do whatever I want, and I've never felt more isolated. So much for wealth bringing happiness. It's interesting that more recent research shows that what matters a lot more than a big income is how that money is spent. For example, giving money away makes people a lot happier than lavishing it on themselves. Also, when money is spent on ourselves, we're much happier when we use it for experiences like travel rather than material goods. The truth is that wealth and poverty are relative. Being rich in one country may be poor in another. The reverse is also true. There will always be people who make more money than you and I, who have greater opportunities than you and I, who have fewer problems than you and I. In fact, recently I visited some slums in the Philippines. Our guide called it the Hilton of the slums because it wasn't the worst one in the city. He'd been working to build a church there for many years, and I had the privilege of ministering amongst them. I must admit, I felt very inadequate speaking to these people about how to do life. Their worship was so warm and enthusiastic and pure. During my visit, I met the assistant pastor. She was a lovely woman who was instrumental in leading the church. She told me, my 4 children, have never known poverty. They have 2 meals a day, and we have a concrete floor. When she was a child, they survived on 1 or 2 bananas a day. In her eyes, she was rich. In the West, most of us are wealthy compared to the rest of the world. We've got a bank account, fresh water and food. We have access to health and education. In reality, we're rich, and it's helpful for us to get a perspective on that. So what should be our goal? Instead of focusing on getting more money to be happy, God tells us to put our hope in Him. In fact, Paul writes in 1 Timothy, command those who are rich in the present world not to be arrogant, nor to put their hope in wealth, which is so uncertain, but to put their hope in God, who richly provides us with everything for our enjoyment. Command them to do good, to be rich in good deeds, and to be generous and willing to share. In this way, they will lay up treasure for themselves as a firm foundation for the coming age, so that they may take hold of the life that is truly life. What great advice. What great words. Don't put your hope in wealth, but in God, the one who provides everything for our enjoyment. In other words, when our hope is in God, we are free to enjoy God's good gifts. There's also some practical steps towards that. Be rich in good deeds. Be generous and willing to share. This is the antidote. If you feel that money and material things has too much hold on your heart, start giving things away. Practice moving in the opposite spirit. You want more for yourself? Then fight that unhelpful and toxic desire by giving to others. Practice generosity. Give and give and give again. This will set you free from the misplaced desire that money will make you happy. Being set free from the love of money and the need for more is what makes us truly happy. Hey, thanks for listening to Everyday God Conversations today. For more on having your own God conversation, go to godconversations.com.